Okay, so Victoria, could you start introducing yourself, please?
Yes. Well, my name is Victoria. I'm 23 and I'm a social media. My hobbies are like meditation and stuff. I'm very interested in spirituality.
Oh, very good. Thanks. It's nice to meet you. And what about you, Charles?
My name is Charles Lopes, 42 years old, married to daughter. I was born in Brasilia, but nowadays I live in Santarém City, north of Brazil, Pará State, Amazon Forest. That's it.
Thank you. And now, Bruna.
Good morning, guys. Good to see you another morning. My name is Bruna. I live in São Paulo. I work as a teacher. I live with my family, my parents and my brother. Victoria, I also like meditating. Actually, I started and then I stopped for a while. And this morning I woke up like I'm gonna meditate, and then I did it, and it was it was great. So that's it. Just sharing.
So, Valnei, could you introduce yourself for us?
Hello, my name is Valnei. I'm 47 years old and I live in Caçapava, São Paulo. I work with technology.
Okay, thanks for sharing. And now, Marcio, what about you?
Hello, good morning. My name is Márcio. I am 38 years old. I may live in Recife, Pernambuco. That's it.
Thank you. Now I will introduce myself. So my name is Yasmin. I'm 20 years old. I live in São Paulo too. And I work as a teacher. I love cats and candies, chocolate is my favorite. And that's it. So the first question is, when you think of disability, what comes to your mind? Like in the past, I thought that disability was when someone was not capable to do something, you know. So I had this thought, I thought that kind of thing, but maybe it's about a condition, and this condition could limit you or not as people in general. So what about you, Bruna?
Yes, I agree with you. I think in the beginning I thought it would be something that would make people incapable of doing something, you know, and I really had this wrong idea of disabled people, but I think it's just about the characteristic, you know, and maybe the person just will be able to do things in a different way that they're like people who are able, right? They are just doing the same stuff, but in a different way, you know. That's it.
Yeah, totally. Nowadays, I know that this happened too. So what about you, Vonay?
Comes in my mind welfare, disrespect, difficulty getting work, and very, 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 very preconception. Yes, this.
Yeah, a lot of prejudice, and we will talk about this later too. about what can we do as a society. So what about you, Victoria? We can hear you.
And now are you hearing? Okay. Well, I had the experience of studying and working and living with disabled people. And I think there is a lot of prejudice around them, and they are people who can work normally and study normally, and they live very normally. I lived as a roommate of a deaf man, and he's very intelligent. He's one of the most actually inspirational person I've met, but it doesn't have nothing with his disability. You know, it is his character. So when I think about these people, I think they are very equal, you know, to us. We doesn't have to go for these stereotypes when thinking about them. But I know in a realistic view, they have, of course, some difficulties in life. But for me, in my experience, they are very normal, because I had the chance to experience, you know.
Yes, totally. Like they have limits and we have limits too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is totally normal. And what about you, Charles? What comes to your mind?
All right. For me, bring in my mind when one person, one machine, or when something don't have capacity for develop something. I guess not only about humans, but about everything. I guess deficiency it's not only for person or for people. It's for imaginary things in general. But let me confess. Before I watch the video, I have some thought, and before I think it's changed a little because I never thought of it in this way. And thank you for bringing for us. That's it.
Yeah,
And
totally. Thanks for
I
sharing.
watched before the lesson, right? I watched more than one time.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And now, when you learned about the civil rights movement, did you learn about people with disabilities and their fight for equal rights? How do you feel about schools, including or not, in the curriculum? Like I passed all my life studying in a public school. So I had some classmates that had like some mental conditions, and we didn't know how to deal with them, and the teachers didn't know too, because sometimes they think that they are making fun of them, or they were like being naughty, but they were not. They were having crises and things like this. So maybe we don't learn about this in the schools or in our work environment. So what about you, Victoria?
Actually, the first time I heard about this movement, it was with my friend, this deaf man. His name is Lucas. And actually, when I was in school and even when I was working side to side with other disabled people, there was no information about it. It was like they are here because we we are very nice and we want to how can I say, include them. I actually never thought of this point.
Yeah, totally. Maybe we just have this information when we met someone. So what about you, Volney?
In my age, disabled children were separated in special class, and we didn't see these children. Today, my wife is a inclusion teacher, and she works with disabled children. Is amazing because these children are completely normal and capaz, and is fantastic. This inclusion is fantastic in my mind today. But in my age is very different. I'm feel happy because the inclusion today.
Yeah, totally. I have a friend that she told me that in the school that she works, they need to make different exams for disabled people. And one time a student asked for her, why we need to make a different test than others? We are not capable to do the same, you know, so this is very difficult. And you, Sharks?
Oh, it's a difficult question for me because I don't remember talk too much when I was in the school, neither in the college. Maybe this question it's more recent, I guess. But I think it's important we talk about, and I think the world changed a lot. I think it's important we talk about this at school nowadays. I think the things change a lot. When I was a student in the school nowadays. I think it's good, but I don't have too much things for talk about this because I don't remember to discuss or have a class about this when I was a student.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for sharing. And what about you, Bruna?
Yeah, when I learned about this movement, I didn't learn a lot about people with disabilities. You know, I actually started reading and understanding more about it with the internet. You know, and a lot of things that I know nowadays, it's also because of it, like reading and watching people talking about it. I also studied speech therapy for a while, so I was in contact with a lot of deaf people and with the deaf community, just like Victoria said. And I had an internship at a school. It here in São Paulo, it's called bilingual school because there are some classes just for deaf kids, like some classrooms just for deaf people, so they don't interact with other types of students, you know. And I think this is really problematic because they are just there. They don't speak. It's like just focus on the sign language, and it is complicated for them and also for the other students, you know, because like the other students don't have the chance to get to know them and to interact. So just like the guys were saying, at my school, I don't remember any disabled student, which is really, really, really complicated. So I just had the chance to know them when I was in college, studying speech therapy. So I think it is a big problem not trying to make these kids part of the group, and just trying to, like, just like you said, make a different test or consider they are not able without even trying, just separating them from the community, when in real life we know they can't choose the places they are going to be. They are part of the world too. So why do we need to separate them and create special places for them? I think it's a problem. That's it.
Yeah, totally. I think I had contact with this topic at college because of a teacher, and like in the middle of the class, she said to us that she's deaf. So she said that she needed to pretend to hear everything, because if she didn't pretend, she will go to like Rio de Janeiro to study in a specific school. So nowadays, I think that things are changing. So I want to know, do you know someone that has a disability, and what kind of problems do they face every day? Like my grandmother, she doesn't hear so well because she fell from a high altitude, and this impact in her hearing. So sometimes we need to like scream, and she can hear us, because sometimes like her hear aid is without batteries, so we need to do this kind of things. And maybe it's difficult because one time a person entered in her house and she didn't hear, so this is a really difficult situation. What about you, Bruna?
Yeah, I was checking how to say that in English because I didn't know. But my one of my uncles has a leg prosthesis. I think this is the name. And nowadays he can do literally everything. He drives, he has his own car, he travels, he works. Um, Maybe the problem, I would say, prejudice, right? Like people considering he can't do stuff, or making fun of it. And I would say just the prosthesis, the impact with the skin, like sometimes it hurts, because of the atrito. So maybe this can be another physical problem, or I think you got it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think maybe prejudice is the bigger problem nowadays. What about you, Charles?
Oh, sorry, I work a little. What the question?
Do you know someone that has a disability, and what kind of problems do they face every day?
Yes, I know more than one. Maybe I guess the more problem this person face, it's mobility into the city, because she is cadeirante. I don't know how I can say this. And I can follow this person sometimes. It's the most difficult for her. It's a woman, a friend of mine. But I guess prejudice too, like you talked before, and maybe like the the woman in the video talk too. The person don't look this person like a normal person. I think it's the worst thing. I think that's it.
Yeah, totally. I think that people who uses wheelchairs don't have the right conditions to move in the city because of our streets. And what about you, Romay? Do you know someone?
I know two persons, and I have a nephew. He's autista, and the people love him because he's so good, and is a very fun. And I know I have a friend. He was destroyed a wall, and the wall fell on him, and he lost the movement on his legs. This is very é muito impactante for me because the in life was changed in moment, and is very difficult for us in this accident, and I don't know why problems he have on day by day, but is for me is very difficult for him life in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I think that, like, my opinion, I think that it's more difficult for people who suffer this kind of accident to accept, and to learn how to deal with this disability. So what about you, Victoria?
Well, in my experience, my friend Lucas, who is deaf, he has a difficulty on the point that Portuguese is his second language and sign language is his first language. So there are some subjects he can't go so deep into in Portuguese because he has to study. It is difficult. He understands, but there are words that are different. So he has to be always studying Portuguese as a second language. And this is bad for him, because I asked him one time, what is your thoughts about God and religion, spirituality? And he said, I believe in God, but I actually never went too deep thinking about this, because there are no contents in sign language enough for people who are disabled for studying it, for thinking about it, for questioning themselves about it. So this is actually one of the only things I see him struggling about, It is the language barrier, if we can say like this, at this point.
Yeah, I've never thought about it, but now I'm thinking about this topic because it's totally true, and maybe we don't see sign language as a language, you know. So this is really difficult. So how might the experience of people with visible disabilities differ from those of people with hiding disabilities? So this is very difficult. Maybe when you can see the disability of someone, you, like when you need to go to a supermarket, you didn't respect because you can't see what is happening. So what do you think, Bruna?
I agree with you. And I think the first thing that comes to my mind is a guy I follow on Instagram, and he always posts about it because everyone tells him that, like, oh my God, really, you have brain paralysis? Oh my God, like you don't look like a disabled person. So it's like there is this stereotype that someone with disability has this face, like I don't know, he's always, in a wheelchair, or um, um, we have this physical stereotype. So I think it is complicated because let me just check the question, because there is a prejudgment, so maybe this can make them feel less to, like, okay, but should I look like someone with disability? Do I need to have this stereotype to be respected or to be well treated? So I think we need to be really, really careful. That's it.
Yeah, totally. And what about you, Charles?
Yes, I think obviously it's difficult when you cannot see the deficiency. It's more hard. But in my point of view, we should respect everyone. And respect, I think it's the main word we need to use in every case nowadays, because everyone have one deficiency. Not only everyone have, I have a lot, and I know this. And unfortunately, we used to give for someone, I don't know, a scale for the deficiency. And when we see or saw someone in the cadeira de rodas, we put a high scale, but I don't think that's it. I will give a step forward, step back in the video again. And I think this video teach me a lot. And it's the video. I think I was think this way. We need to respect everyone because everyone have deficiencies. That's it. It's too complex for my English, but that's it.
Yeah, I think like it's the same when you like are at the supermarket and someone is in the preferential line, and you can see if these people are pregnant or if have some disability, and someone asks, why you are here? Do you have something, So this is really difficult. What about
Nowadays, I live very close that people have uh, mental health. I don't know how I can say this, depression, and it's not stamped the face, all right? It's only for the people. And these people looks like a normal people. And unfortunately, the people have a depression. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. What about you, Victoria?
Well, I think that as well as the supermarket example you gave us, these people, they experience different, how can I say, different prejudice, you know, like my friend Lucas and other disabled people who are like him, deaf, when they are using Tinder and other friends and relationship apps, they have to be careful. They have to be more careful when they say, well, I have a disability. Actually, I am deaf. Actually, I can't speak, you know. And a lot of people at this moment start to treat them differently. And I think this is very, very wrong, you know. Or treat them like a baby, special, or they treat them like, oh, you're so beautiful, but I can't stand with that, you know. And it's very, very sad.
Yeah, I was watching a video on TikTok that a woman was saying about this, that she's 30 years old, and because of her disability, people treat her like a baby. So this is really difficult. And what about you, Volney?
I think it's simple to be a better society. Just respect it, just access ramps, just learn to learn and understand about each one's need. Is simple in my mind.
Yeah, totally. If our society have more respect, everything, it will be okay. And Valnei, do you agree with Stella's statement that disability doesn't make a person exceptional? Why or why not?
Sorry, I can't understand you now. And you talk very, very fast for me.
Okay, so do you agree with Stella's statement that disability doesn't make a person exceptional? Why or why not?
Sorry, I understand. Sorry.
Okay, I will type on the chat, okay?
Oh, okay. It's good for me.
Now you can see. Tell me if you can understand or not.
I can't what to find again.
So I will, do you understand?
No, can't. I think pula essa aí para mim, depois eu vou entender e respondo depois.
Okay, okay, it's okay. Charles, could you start?
Yes, yes. Yes, I totally agree with her. And I guess that people that have deficiency, it's not exceptional. Maybe it's a controversial question, but I agree with her. I think we need to change our mind and accept these people because it's maybe one or two deficiencies, and these people can, I don't know how I can say this, integrate in the society very well. I think we have a lot of examples of this. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. They are not exceptional, but maybe they have different different ways to do things and different limits than people who didn't have a disability have. So what about you, Victoria?
Well, I'm kind of surprised by this question and the answer that came to my mind. Even though I had the experience of being with disabled people, I actually had this thought about them, that they are special, that they are exceptional, that they have something else we doesn't have, so they can live life even though they are, you know, they are living life with harder difficulties. And actually this is a lot of prejudice, you know. I never seen that as a prejudice, but I, as a person, I expect them to not be lazy, you know, for being smarter, for working hard. You know, you're disabled, you have to work harder. This is very wrong, and I'm surprised.
Yeah, totally. I think the first thing that comes to our mind is, oh, you are so good in things that you do. You work so hard. So how do you do these things like this? So what about you, Bruna?
Yes, and we see them as exceptional because we can't see ourselves in their position, right? Like this weekend, my father went to a news stand to buy something, and then he came back to the car and said, "Oh my God, like the guy doesn't have the hands, you know, like he could do things with his mouth, you know, like trying to catch stuff and do some things with his mouth." And he was surprised, you know. And I think we are surprised because these people are not around us very often, you know. So uh, they should, but they are not. And then we think they are special because everyone who is around us can do the stuff in a way we think it's normal, right? And when there is someone doing the same thing in a different way, we think, oh my God, he doesn't have the hands, so he's so special because although he doesn't have the hands or the legs or anything, they are doing it the same way we do it. So I don't think it makes them exceptional, but since it's different and we can't see ourselves as you said, you know, yes, when it's someone who faces an accident, there is this moment of grief, you know, that you don't know how to deal with it, that it's complicated. Um, because it seems we seem we think it's something sad, you know, like, oh gosh, it is a problem, you know. And then if the person can do stuff we usually do, it's special. Oh my God, you faced your problem and you overcame everything. So I feel you, Victoria. It is a process of trying to change our mind, you know, and seeing it in a different way. It is a process because we are not familiar with these people.
Yeah, totally. Like sometimes I feel that, I don't know if this happened in your houses too, but like my parents always made this comparison, like, oh, I don't want to go for a walk, and like my mother say, oh, but you have two legs, and people who doesn't have, they were doing this. I feel like, oh my god, why are you saying this? So what about you, Vonay? Now, do you understand?
I can answer now.
Okay.
I think I agree, because I think disabled persons are capable of many things and in many cases do better than normal people. I believe.
Yeah, totally. And now I think we can skip to 9 and list famous people with disabilities that you know, and what do they do? Like now in my mind just come two, that is Pequena Lo, like she's an influencer, and Lorena, that is an influencer too. And what about you, Victoria?
Actually, I don't remember a famous person with disability right now.
It's okay. So what about you, Vonay? Do you remember someone?
I remember Messi. Messi is autista and existed actor. We do Game of Thrones and uh, the Avengers. I'm forgetting the name of this actor, but he's unknown. He's a great actor. I love him.
Yeah, now I remember that I think in the TV show Sex Education has an actor too. I'm not sure, but what about you, Bruna?
Yeah, the guy Valney talked about that guy from Game of Thrones. You talked about the guy in sex education. I don't know. There is Stephen Hawkins, right? He's pretty famous. Um, there is that actor who won an Oscar these days. He was deaf too. He is deaf. I can't remember now, but I've already read about it. Other deaf artists or other artists who are autistic. Um, yeah, but I don't know the names. You know, I have seen, but I don't know the names. Yeah, but as you said, I follow some influencers too. I like reading about it, and I think we need to talk about it more often. You know, not just about like disability, but other types. You know, because there are many types, and then. If we talk about it in a general way, um, it can be complicated. Maybe we should talk about like each type, you know, and how to deal with each type, how to talk to each type of people with disability and understand more about each one. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I there is a movie on Netflix that the name is Run, and they really hired uh, a woman that she uses wheelchair so to do this movie, and I think this is really great when they hire people who really have disability. I think this is really important. And okay, I think now I will bring people back. But I want to know, Victoria, how was your first experience here? Tell us about it. What do you think about the topic?
Well, I'm surprised by the topic. I think it is very interesting and very important for us to talk about things like that. And it was nice. I actually like it.
Thanks for sharing. And okay, everyone are back. So welcome back, everyone. Nondas, I want to know, how was the conversation?
The conversation was good as usual and very good topic, and congrats you brought this up for this conversation. And yeah, very good conversation. I had a lot of insight, in special and in the beginning of the meeting because of the video. So yeah, very good conversation.
Thanks for sharing. And I want to know if you know someone that has a disability and what kind of problems do they face every day?
Yeah, I know a lot of people, and I have in my family, and I had a client too at the gym, and he is blind, and the biggest problem is accessibility, because the space and even we as a society, we are not prepared to deal with that. And but he can do everything, so it's very important to say, but the space is not prepared. It's the big problem, in special for blind people.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for sharing. And now, what about you, Rui? How was the conversation?
Yeah, the conversation was good. We and the tema also was very interesting. We share a lot of experience from, I think, Bruna. I think Bruna and maybe has some experience, and also Nondas that work in gym with people with disability and other stuffs. Yeah, the theme is very interesting. And as I start, I was the one that used to buy this alive from the media, from social media, that people with disability is inspire us anyway. Yeah, I learned something today about it, and I'm happy for it. Thank you for the time.
Thanks for sharing.
Okay.
And now I want to know about Antonio, and I have a question for you. In what ways could we, as a society, be more inclusive with people with disabilities?
Well, it was a great conversation, and I think we, as a society, can contribute, and with more people with disability on politics, on the government, and living with people with disabilities, seeing them as our teachers, doctors, and in your schools, in your house, and be preparing, thinking about it, how to deal, because if we don't live with them, we don't think how to treat them, but we have to think.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for sharing. And now, Atamis, do you know a famous person that has disability?
Yeah, I knew you would call me. Yes, it's okay. I know that guy. I forgot his name, but he's an actor. He made the dwarf on Game of Thrones. He has a disability. I don't know how to say nanism in English. And yeah, I think he's great. He's a great actor. He has a family. He has a normal life. But he was complaining about, and that was interesting, how people design and talk about dwarfs on books and in media in general, like films and stories, fiction stories, like they are magical and things, and people treat them like that. So I start to think about this, like, because we see, like, in books like, I don't know, Harry Potter, they have the dwarves, the Lord of the Rings, they always have some characteristics, and the people see these characteristics, these features in real people who has this disability. So interesting.
Yeah, totally. I think this is a nice topic to talk about too. So thank you, everyone. Sending the link of our feedback. So please go there and tell me, what do you think about this conversation? If you want to talk about some topic, you could give us a suggestion there. And I want to thank you all for this amazing conversation. It is nice to be here with you. So have a nice week. And bye-bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.